everyone, I'm Mark Sievers, and today I'm going to show you how to make a perfect summer staple, apple and blue cheese slaw. So this recipe comes from my cookbook, Table for Two. I grew up in New England and have eaten a lot of really good coleslaw and a lot of really bad coleslaw. Fortunately for you and me, this is the really good kind. So let me just give you a little overview of what I have, and then we'll get right into it. So I have a lot of things on this board, but it's all very easily found at your average grocery store, nothing overly fancy. So I have some half and half, some mayo, cheese, some vinegar, salt and pepper, some cabbage, some fresh herbs. So it's all things that you can definitely find at any grocery store. So don't let any of this intimidate you, because you don't need to be. So I have a little tiny food processor here, and to this I'm going to add a quarter of a cup of mayonnaise. Makes the most lovely sound. So charming. And I have a quarter cup of creme fraiche. Creme fraiche has this lovely tartness to it, which I love so much. I particularly like creme fraiche right out of the jar or the can on some spice cake during the holidays. A little trick for you, it's delicious. And then I'm gonna add a tablespoon of half and half. And then I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of champagne vinegar. Champagne vinegar, for me, for some reason, is one of my pantry staples that I love so much. Whenever I see it, I always buy like 2 or 3 bottles because I go through it so much, because it is in almost all vinaigrettes that I make. So this is perfect. I have some garlic, and I'm not typically a fan of specialty kitchen tools, but my garlic press I use this a lot when I'm making vinaigrettes, because I think it really makes the garlic get into the dressing better than if you were just to finely mince it. It kind of does this, like makes it into a paste, and I just think that is really important for vinaigrettes, and especially this delicious blue cheese sauce. Speaking of blue cheese, let's put in about 3.5 ounces of a Danish blue cheese. Blue cheese and apples, classic combination. So I thought, why not make it into a beautiful coleslaw? So that's about 3.5 ounces. And then I'm gonna put in 1/4 teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper right into the bowl. I love this because it's just 1 bowl for the dressing, 1 bowl for the coleslaw, and voila, you've got the perfect no dishes afterwards almost. So this is wonderful. And about 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. So that's perfect. And then we're gonna give this a blitz. So I want the consistency of this to be creamy but still chunky. I don't want smooth baby food, and I don't want it to be a dip. I want it to still have a nice kind of ruddiness to it. So I just like to puree it. And this just gets everything mixed up perfectly. Let's take a little peek, and a couple more times. Ooh. That's good. I like this little tiny food processor, especially for jobs like this, because I don't have to haul out the big one and clean it all up. This is perfect for these little tiny jobs. So now we're gonna move over to the coleslaw part. I'm gonna give you a little overhead action here. So here I have 8 ounces of cabbage. This is a cabbage mix that I bought because I couldn't find a whole purple cabbage in the grocery store this morning. So they had a mix, purple cabbage, green cabbage, and even a little bit of carrot. Perfectly fine. I have some golden raisins, and about 3/4 of a cup, and about 2 tablespoons of scallions. These measurements are all available at marcsievers.com, so you don't have to worry about writing anything down. I've got you covered. And then I'm gonna get some fresh Italian leaf parsley here, and I need about 2 tablespoons. The best way to get parsley off of the stem is to take your knife and run it along the leaves, and they come right off, and you can kind of discard the stems. You can actually tie these stems with a little bit of kitchen twine and put them into soups or stews. They'll still have a lot of flavor there, so use it. And we don't need to finely mince this. We still want this to look like parsley. We need about 2 tablespoons. That looks like 2 tablespoons. That's perfect. And then we're going to use fresh basil. So basil is one of my favorite ingredients to use, and I'm going to show you how I like to prepare basil. So I like to take the leaves off and kind of stack them a little bit and make them into, and then roll them into a little cigar. And when you roll them, this lets you kind of julienne them. And it's just making very, very, very thin cuts right along the basil. Et voila, that's perfect. And then I usually just for this, I'm just going to give it a little bit of a rough chop. That's about 1.5 tablespoons. I'm going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and then of course we can't have blue cheese and apple coleslaw without apple. So Granny Smith apple right here. I love Granny Smith apple. They're nice and crisp, they're nice and tart. You don't even have to peel it, which makes my job in the kitchen much easier. And I'm going to dice it into about 1/2 inch cubes. So this is perfect, right into the bowl. I love doing this during the spring and summer months of the year because it's a perfect takeaway dish for people to bring to parties. Everybody seems to really love coleslaw in the warmer months, and this happens to be, I think, kind of my go-to for barbecues and deck parties, all those great things. I live in the city, so a lot of my friends live in buildings that have rooftops. So this is also a great recipe to bring to those. And of course, I always pack it up and bring it to the beach on the weekends because it makes the perfect little lunch. So to this, now I'm going to take our pre-done sauce here, and it's sticking, so that's okay. We're just going to unplug it. The joys of live YouTube, everybody. And just going to scrape this into the bowl. And how amazing is this? So this we're just going to mix up here. Oh, this looks so good. Apples, raisins, purple coleslaw, lots of fresh herbs. And what I love about this is it's not gloopy and very soupy. It's very fresh tasting. It's really is just a beautiful apple and blue cheese slaw. So give it a try this summer. Let me know in the comments below how you love it. And et voila, we're finished. Not too bad, right? So please like this video, subscribe to my channel, head over to marcsievers.com for this full recipe, along with many others, kitchen ideas, and of course, lots of entertaining tips and tricks. Until next time, I'm Marc Sievers. Bye, guys. Let's see. That's not even great coleslaw. That is fabulous coleslaw. Bye.